Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fate's Wide Wheel. I'm your host, Sam, and I am stoked because I get to bring you an unboxing and review of one of my favorite film trilogies pretty much ever, and that is A Better Tomorrow. Now, some people might argue that it was an exercise in lesser returns, but I personally actually really enjoy both A Better Tomorrow 2 and A Better Tomorrow 3. It took me a while to track down a copy of A Better Tomorrow 3 way back in the day, but when I saw it, I actually think I liked it even better than the second one. It's a fantastic film in its own right. The first one, of course, really kind of revolutionized Hong Kong action cinema, and it propelled Chow Yun-fat to stardom in Hong Kong and eventually led to his mainstream Hollywood stardom as well, or at least attempt at stardom, I guess, depending on your perception of that. But at the very least, we got some American made English language Chow Yun Fat movies, something that I was grateful for. I had seen him prior to, of course, The Replacement Killers, The Corruptor, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, etc. In fact, the Anna and the King, that's right. Oh man, I almost forgot about that one. It's okay. Anyway, I had first seen him in Hard Boiled, which I detailed on a video that I did a couple of weeks ago for the brand new 4K Ultra HD of Hard Boiled that Shout Factory put out as a part of its Hong Kong Cinema Classics line. And now we have A Better Tomorrow on 4K Ultra HD as well. I am really excited about this one. I've been having a lot of fun doing these videos. Hopefully that's translated over and folks are enjoying them as much as I am making them. And I promise I'm going to get better. I'm going to try new things. But for this one, we're going to kind of stick bare bones because this box itself is a little bare bones. We don't have a cool booklet or anything like that we had in Hard Boiled. But we do have three fantastic films. In fact, we actually get some alternate versions of a couple of those films, which is super exciting. Before we dive into the unboxing, I do want to remind everyone to hit that like and subscribe button, turn the notifications on. It helps the channel, gets more eyes on the channel, and the more eyes I have, the more I can do. And I certainly want to expand and grow things as I kind of get started in a new avenue when it comes to Fate's Wide Wheel, going off of the years of Quantum Leap content that was produced before this. Of course, there were other divergences there. We certainly talked about a lot of other stuff. Some of my favorite episodes are non-Quantum Leap episodes, including the episode I did a couple of years ago with JJ Lindell about the Twilight Zone. That one is just one of my favorites. I actually have the poster that he made for that episode sitting over there. I'm going to get that hanged on the wall very soon. I'm doing some redecorating as well, so you might see some stuff changing behind me. But in the meantime, I did think that I would at least get my quick kick over there. Quick Kick, of course, is a GI Joe, and one of my favorite GI Joes growing up, if not my favorite GI Joe when I was a little kid. And I decided that I'm going to name my short videos that I'll be producing very soon Quick Kicks. And so he'll be the show mascot, if you will, for a while. Now, that's from the G.I. Joe Classified line, which is an incredible toy line. If you have any interest in action figures whatsoever, who knows, maybe you'll see some of that on Fate's Wide Wheel at some point. But today we're talking about the Joey Hark produced and John Woo directed and written film starring, of course, Chow Yun-fat and Leslie Cheung. This is an incredible crime action drama from 1986. Really jump-started an entire wave of similar films, many of which would be helmed by John Woo. And it propelled Chow Yun-fat, as I said earlier, to stardom in Hong Kong. After this, he was made. He could call his own shots, and he would participate with John Woo in future films, including both of the Better Tomorrow sequels, although John Woo didn't have a hand in the third film. And, of course, The Killer and Hard Boiled, aforementioned, of course, and behind me right now. And Chow Yun-fat's one of my favorite actors, period. I just think he epitomizes cool. He's just an incredible actor all around, and seeing the a variety of characters that he played throughout the years is pretty incredible. And when you look at just A Better Tomorrow, The Killer, and Hard Boiled, you get three very different characters, but all of them have that just ineffable coolness that you cannot create, you cannot manufacture. You either have it or you don't have it, and he has it. And then if you compare those characters to the characters that we would see him play later on, even in a film like The Corruptor, which is not a great film, don't get me wrong, it has its moments, but the character that he plays in The Corruptor compared to the character that he plays in these three films, compared to the character that he plays in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, He's just an actor of such depth and nuance and variety, and I appreciate him so much. And A Better Tomorrow, while not his first film, not his first piece of work, was certainly the thing that brought him to the mainstream in Hong Kong and the forefront in Hong Kong, and really cemented him as a star, someone who could basically call his own shots. And his partnership with John Woo, as far as I'm concerned, it's on par with Kurosawa and Mifune, DiCaprio and Scorsese, De Niro and Scorsese, etc. It's John Wayne and John Ford. The volume of films might not necessarily be the same as some of those other collaborations I just mentioned, but the quality of the films and what they meant to Hong Kong cinema and cinema at large, I think it's large enough to be parallel to those other partnerships that I just mentioned. So that said, A Better Tomorrow. A little bit of history for me. I first picked these films up on imported DVDs, probably bootlegs, that I found, I'm pretty sure, on eBay. And this is the early days of eBay, back when eBay was kind of the Wild West. This would have been 98, 99, somewhere around there. I was still living in North Carolina when I received the first two films. I don't have them anymore. As much of my possessions prior to college or graduating college, many of my possessions are just gone. I don't know what happened to them. A variety of moves, kept with my dad, kept with my sister, etc. Who knows? Maybe some of these things will turn up in boxes as I still comb through my father's stuff after his passing. But that said, I'm pretty sure these DVDs gone, absolutely 100% gone. It's possible that I could find them somewhere. I did find my old DVD of City on Fire not long ago, which is another movie we'll talk about on the channel eventually. So who knows? Maybe they will pop up. Maybe I put them into a binder and I just don't have the cases they came in, which would be no great loss because, again, these were bootlegs with cheap paper inserts into the DVD case. All of the text was in another language. I don't want to say that it was in Chinese because it might not have been, for all I know. Who knows where these movies came from? All I know is they worked in my DVD player and I could watch them. And that's how I owned A Better Tomorrow and A Better Tomorrow 2. Eventually, I was able to get a copy of A Better Tomorrow 3. By that time, I think I was in college. It would have been like 2001, 2002, somewhere around there. And it's the one that I've seen the least, but I remember some of it very vividly, and I am super excited to see it again, especially in 4K. So the Better Tomorrow films, while I'm not nearly as familiar with them as I am Hard Boiled and Killer, part of that is access. I just had easier access to Hard Boiled and the Killer, especially with my Criterion DVDs. And had numerous watches of those films. And again, Hard Boiled, I probably watched into the double digits easily. But these films, I would say the first one I've seen probably at least 4 or 5 times. The second one I've seen a few times. The third one I probably have only seen that once, maybe twice. Back in my youth, there were times when I make no bones about it on this show. Like, I am in recovery. I'm 6 years sober, and there were certainly times in my past when substances might have played a part in the effect of me being able to recall certain aspects and certain points of my life, and including the films that I've watched. So it could be all new to me. We'll see what happens. That said, let's kick this off. First of all, let's take a look at this beautiful, beautiful box art. It is absolutely incredible. They've done a wonderful job with it. Naturally, they continue to do an amazing job with all of this wonderful art, and I will have to again go back and find the artist again because it's not popping out to me right now. But it is just absolutely gorgeous box. It is a very thick box, a heavy box, hard box. Hong Kong Cinema Classics here. It's got the symbol here, 19 through 21 here. Let's waste no more time. Let's get this out of the packaging. The Hong Kong Cinema Classics label, of course, is a direct result of their Golden Princess acquisition of their library that Shot Factory did, and they have absolutely done an incredible job getting these films out, getting them out quickly too. I mean, we're talking probably less than a year, and we've already seen all of these releases and done in just incredible quality. I cannot speak highly enough of what they've done here with these releases so far. The artwork does a wonderful job of combining all three films. You get the incredibly famous image of Chow Yun-fat lighting the cigarette off the $100 bill from the first film. You get some stuff from the second film. You get some stuff down here with the third film. The third film, of course, takes place during the Vietnam War, so that's why you've got the tanks and the soldiers, etc. Just an incredible presentation all around. Let's go ahead and slip these discs out and see what we've got. There, of course, we'll start at the beginning. Very good place to start. There again is that wonderful image of Chow Yun-fat lighting the cigarette off of the $100 bill. On the back, of course, we'll get the details for everything that's on here. These are 2-disc sets. One, of course, is going to be your 4K Ultra HD. Your second one will be your Blu-ray. I do believe the Blu-ray is Region A locked. I will double check on that in just a second. The 4K, of course, is region free. Here's your Better Tomorrow 2. And again, just looking incredible. And then Better Tomorrow 3, Love and Death in Saigon. This one, of course, is a prequel to the first two films. Takes place about 10 or 15 years, I believe, before the first film. So you get, it's, some people consider it to be a sequel in name only, that the film doesn't really have as much to do with the other two films. It doesn't even have as much to do with the characters that it says that it has to do with. So it's up to you. I've always considered it to be a prequel. I like to think that perhaps it's a, it's a memory of where these characters came from, if not necessarily being 100% canon, if you will, to the trilogy. Let's go ahead and pop these open real quick and see if we get any sort of reversible. Nope, nothing on the other side of our slips. They are just, what you see is what you get. But there's the discs, which look amazing. There's the 4K, and then we got the Blu-ray over here. It is not saying as to whether or not it's region locked. Yes, it is. There it is, A. So it is region locked to region A. So you will have to have a player that plays that. So if you're watching internationally, just be aware of that. Now, I do know that Arrow will be releasing these eventually as well. So if you're in the UK, that'll be your best bet. I will probably take a look at those at the very least and see if they're worth importing for me. I do have a region-free player. Now, the Better Tomorrow 3 actually has a third disc, and the third disc is called a bonus disc. I don't know if that means that they plan on this only being available in this box set and they will release the films separately down the line or what, but that bonus disc includes the long lost A Better Tomorrow 2 work print featuring over 30 minutes of never before seen footage. It does not mention on here whether or not that is in high definition or standard definition. It's obviously not in Ultra HD because it's on the Blu-ray. We also get A Better Tomorrow 3, Love and Death in Saigon, the Taiwanese cut, which I do believe the Taiwanese cut might actually have a little bit of extra footage or alternate footage compared to the original one. So let's take a quick look at some of these special features. There's a lot of them. So first and foremost, of course, on all of these films, we get a brand new 4K scan from the original camera negative presented in Dolby Vision, and the new translated English subtitles for this release. On the first film, we get an audio commentary with James Mudge, Hong Kong film critic at easternkicks.com. And then on the Blu-ray, you'll find the rest of the supplements, which will include Better Than the Best, an interview with director John Woo, Between Friends, interview with producer Terrence Chang, When Tomorrow Comes, interview with screenwriter Chong Hing Ka, Thoughts on the Future, interview with filmmaker Gordon Chan, Better and Bombastic, interview with filmmaker Gareth Evans, Hong Kong Confidential, Inside a Better Tomorrow with author Grady Hendrix, and pretty fantastic. All of those are new. I cannot wait to dive into those supplements and learn more about these films. I don't know as much about the creation of these films as, say, I did Hard Boiled. I knew a bit about them in advance just due to the fact that, the Criterion DVD, reading about them over the years, etc. So I'm really looking forward to these supplemental features. It's always great to hear from John Woo. I love that they've conducted new interviews with him for this. Better Tomorrow 2 includes audio commentary with James Mudge, also includes A Tumultuous Tomorrow, interview with John Woo, Better Than Ever, interview with film historian Frank Jing, a Hong Kong Confidential, Inside a Better Tomorrow 2 with Grady Hendrix, fantastic. And then we get to A Better Tomorrow 3, Love and Death in Saigon. We get an audio commentary with critic and author David West. We get Third Time Lucky, interview with screenwriters Yu Ming Lung and Fu Ho Tai. Hong Kong Confidential, Inside a Better Tomorrow 3, Love and Death in Saigon with author Grady Hendrix. All Our Tomorrows, interview with Hong Kong filmmaker and academic Gilbert Poe. Nam Flashbacks, interview with Vietnam War researcher Dr. Aurelia Basha Novoset. Sorry about that. And then, of course, that bonus disc, which includes those alternate cuts of both Better Tomorrow 2 and Better Tomorrow 3. Absolutely incredible. I cannot wait to get into this. This is super exciting. 7-disc set, and just they have done such a remarkable job with their Hong Kong Cinema Classics line so far. And I think that Shout Factory in general, with the Shaw Brothers box sets that they've released, including their web exclusives of The Brave Archer and the Tilong and David Chang box as well. These box sets that they have released are just unbelievable. I'm still getting caught up on the Shaw Brothers boxes. I have all of them but two, although there's a new one coming out in a few weeks. So just incredible work by them, releasing these Hong Kong films, stretching back to the early '60s. Or mid '60s rather, and all the way up into the '90s, with what we're seeing from them, from these incredible box sets, individual releases, limited releases like Hard Boiled. The Killer is coming out in just a few weeks. I will obviously be covering that, but just fantastic. I mean, again, just looking at it, I cannot help but appreciate the art, the care that's gone into this, the fact that it feels substantial. It doesn't feel flimsy in any way. So I'm really looking forward to watching these films. I am going to take a look at them. I'm going to provide brief reviews and look at the special features as well. That's going to take some time. So I will come back and I will give you the skinny on how these transfers look, what these new special features bring to the table, and hopefully have some wonderful bits and bobs to share with you all as it pertains to A Better Tomorrow, the complete trilogy here from Shout Factory. This is available now.